Hello, and we are doing this thing. I think we're doing this thing. All right, let's do this thing. So, lesson 8, the application of this stuff, right? So, we're going to get into the perspective, the resources, and the development methods. All right? So, what perspective does the individual going through your thing have? What are they trying to accomplish? In the entrepreneurial field, you're trying to accomplish learning a system, right? If you're going to learn a funnel, it's going to take you months. It's going to take you weeks, or it's going to take you days, or it'll take you an afternoon, depending on which level you're at in understanding technology or being comfortable with the application process. All right, that's one. Two, how are you going to build a course? You can either go through these rapid fire mini lessons, or you can go through the digital product suite, right, which is hours and hours of in-depth filming if you need that. At each different level, you have a different journey. So where are you at to meet your client's needs, to meet your lesson's needs? What do you need to do in your lesson that will give you the means to identify those individual needs as it works through the framework, as it works through the path working, as it works through the developmental process? And then example materials to explore. Like I said, you can do these mini lessons, or you can do the long form, which is the digital product system. So that back and forth, there's a dialogue between what we do and how we offer it, and the greater application of I need you to take me by the hand. What happens when you take me by the hand is I'm going to force your compliance. If I take you by the hand, that's a commitment that you're making to me. That's a commitment you're making to yourself and the people that you will serve with the information, learning this information now. So it creates a different perspective. It creates a moral obligation, right? So if I do this, you do this, then this will occur. Right? Again, that's a mathematical formula that you can do over and over and over again, right? Scientific proof. If, then. If this occurs, then this occurs. Over and over and over again. And it's reliable and it's consistent. And it will apply these things time and time again. What are the people that are going to be involved in that? Where do they get to interact? Like I mentioned before, I've got the Entrepreneurs Resource Association. I have the material experience. The Artist Collective group, where we have different groups that we're dealing with that are coming together full circle to create that congruency, to create those next levels of application, so that through the journey process, through the developmental process, each of these different phases become more correct. So that as they get built out, as they get developed into the structure of this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, this is who I'm serving with it, this is who is served by it, and these are the best applications in the time of their being served by it, and these are the challenges that they face. You know, again, it goes into the perspective. Like, when they're resistant to it, you know, there's a cold lead. If you're warm, you're like, okay, maybe. But if you're fiery hot, you're like, damn, I'm all in on this, right? You want to work them through that process, and that's a process of know, like, and trust, right? They've got to know you, they've got to like you, and they've got to trust you. So that those that like you can trust you. Those that don't know you can learn to like you. And those that trust you, you know, you've got a lifelong client. Like, if you maintain that trust and you're consistent with that trust and your development on that trust journey, so that what you do and how you deliver and how you show up and how you learn to process all of your different parts and pieces, you're able to do it in a better way that's more congruent to what you're up to. So, the meditations and the energies, what are the active mental strides that your client is going to have to make in that journey? Right? So that as you make that journey, what are they going to have to overcome? What's their yin state? What's their darkness? What's their yang? What's the light? What do they move from to? Right? Where's the dark? What is the light? What are the conditions that are required for those things? What are their emotional capacities for doing this? Right? Like, are they in a state of fear? Like, all of my people around me are hating on me for doing this thing. I have to separate myself from the people that are saying, oh, this will never work. Oh, no, that's not going to do it. It's done. It's built. Everything's been tested. Like, all I have to do is take it to the marketplace and tell people, hey, I've got this thing. Can it serve you? You know, if it can, come check it out. Like, here's some free resources. You want to go deeper with me? Great, we can go deeper. That's not seedy. That's an engagement. That creates enrollment. So you have to enroll people in your course throughout the perspective shifts that you have to provide. What meditation? What do they have to think about? Well, they have to think about, how do you get somebody to know, like, and trust you? Right? What's going to be your methodology of getting somebody to like you? Right? Is it leading with power? No. You got to be human about it. You got to be honest. You got to be vulnerable in your time of vulnerability. So if you're going through a dark period in your life, that's okay. God knows I do, right? But it's the community support. It's the shift of that community support. It's the development of those things and the experience behind those things where it gives it a lot deeper than just words on a piece of paper. So, like, all of the stuff that I'm talking about, I've shared for free for years, right? But talking about it, putting my time and my effort and my experience in front of a camera is requiring you to put your money out on the table so that way you learn this stuff in a way that I hope you retain this stuff. Because if you see it and you do it and you hear it, you can apply it. Because I can give you examples of how I've applied it, how it's worked for me. You know, how you get it to work for you is how you get your stories, how you build your arsenal of tradition, right? And so every lesson that you have has an element of developmental methods. What are the thoughts that you took? What are your meditations? What are your ritual repetitions to aid your physical memory? How many times do you have to go back and do it over and over again? What is the individual desire that changed the environment, right? So again, occult backing, the spell method, that's what changes the environment. The ritual repetition of a spell is the environmental framework that you do over and over again to change the environment on purpose consistently. Consistently. Right? And then building out meaning that creates the unity of your congruency. Like, what is the development for the community? What is the development and focused intent which caused that action? In this case, what is the direction of your will that creates the desire? And that output, again, it goes back to that mathematical formula that I've talked about several times before. If you intend it and you will it and you direct it, your emanation becomes action, becomes results. Right? So this is how you develop these kinds of lessons, where you get to screw around with people's perspectives. You get to screw around with their personal development, their methodologies, their rituals, their meditations. These kinds of frameworks allow you to go deep, and apply very rapid conversations that you can have that can be possibly life-changing to somebody. So that way what you offer can be applied really quickly, or it can be applied over the long term. So you can do it in a 7-minute video. But in that 7 minutes, it's 20 years of my work. It's learning from mentors that have had 60 years of their work, demonstrating these principles in action. So it's not just me saying it, it's what others are doing to structure their communication in these kinds of ways, so that it serves the very best of who people are and what they can be. So that as we move forward in the next few lessons, you understand, and you're coming to understand, that it's the entire journey moving through, not just the 7 minutes here, the 8 minutes there, but it's the entire experience, so that what you have to provide is a lifetime of information, which creates a means to teach a lifetime of impact. Right? And it creates the legacy, and it creates those developments, and it creates that next level that allows you to progress into the next type of lessons that you can teach your people. And again, you don't have to follow these in order. You can skip around and do them, but maintaining congruency by teaching in different ways, in these different applications, or with these different types of thought patterns, it gets you that next level interaction that gives you those overlay frameworks, so that you can create a braiding pattern of story, of experience, engagement, of physical products, of experiential products, all the different things, so that you can serve in the best kinds of ways. So join me for the next lesson, and I will see you for lesson 9.